Okay guys, so it's time to talk about another episode of Once Upon a Time. This episode was a good one for sure, and you know, it definitely had a little different twist to it in that you had Mary Margaret, David, and Emma basically trying to rescue Regina the whole time. So pretty early on they realize that Regina is nowhere to be found, and the way she's left things just doesn't seem like her, and so they start to think that maybe there's something wrong. And of course Henry's kind of feeding that, what if she's hurt, you know, what if something's happened to her, and so they kind of go in search of her. Mary Margaret and David head to Mr. Gold to look for help, but Emma kind of decides she needs to trust her gut, and that her initial thought that there was something up with Tamara, that, you know, that she needs to kind of follow that through. And so she goes back to kind of research the hotel room that Neil and Tamara are staying in. And there's this whole kind of banter with Neil again, and oh, you're just doing this because you're jealous and that type of thing. So let's just stop for a minute and talk about Neil and Emma, you guys, because I just am not feeling it. So, I don't know, you guys. I don't know what it is about me and this show and, like, love connections. I mean, I just feel like there are not very many couples in the show that I really care all that much about. And so, I don't know, whatever's kind of trying to happen between Neil and Emma, I just don't feel it. So, therefore, I'm not invested in it, and I don't really care, you know? So, like, their whole little banter, it was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I mean, I get that they have a past, and obviously they have a child together, and I get that. I really do. But I just feel like that's her past, and I want her to move forward. Now, of course, the whole time that he is swearing that his fiancée is innocent, we know that she's not. We know that she is guilty. We see that Greg and Tamara have taken Regina to this kind of warehouse down by the docks, and they're basically torturing her. Like, he wants to know where his father is, and he's kind of going to get that out of her. We also get that they're not just working by themselves, right? One of them drops this comment at one point about the home office. That was kind of interesting. So you get that it's more than just them. As they're getting ready to torture Regina, you know, she kind of asks them some questions at the beginning, and she gets from them that they want to destroy magic. That's their ultimate goal. Tamara at one point says to Regina, like, magic is unholy, and we need to cleanse the earth of it. And so you get they're really kind of serious about this whole goal. Greg, on the other hand, is really serious about finding out about his dad, about what happened to his father. No matter how much he tortures Regina, she keeps telling him, your father left town. And that's it. Meanwhile, David and Mary Margaret have gone to Mr. Gold for help, right? So let's talk about Mr. Gold for a moment, because he's in a new place altogether, you guys. Obviously, Belle / Lacey, because she doesn't remember who she is, so she's Lacey now, and Lacey's just not a great kind of gal. And basically, she's like the dark side of Belle, so she brings out the dark side in Mr. Gold, and she encourages that in him. So he's really kind of just at his worst. And at one point, Neil even catches him, like, torturing this guy, and you get that Mr. Gold just doesn't care anymore. So when David and Mary Margaret show up, the only reason he helps them is because he owes David a favor. So he has one of Regina's teardrops, he takes one of Mary Margaret's teardrops and mixes them together, tells her if she puts the teardrop in her eye, she'll be able to see what Regina sees. They'll be kind of connected, and she'll be able to feel what she feels and all that other kind of good stuff. The problem, of course, is that Regina's getting tortured, but they don't realize that. So she puts the drop in her eye, and then it's like, oh my gosh, you know, she starts like feeling the torture that Regina's going through. But she's the one who kind of gets the clues and kind of helps him figure out where she's at. The four of them, you know, Neil and Emma, Mary Margaret and David, go charging down to try to save Regina. And Greg is so intent on torturing her that he stays behind with her. But they show up at the last minute to save her, and they do see his face. They do realize that he's involved in what's going on. And also, too, Tamara shows up at the end as well, and you think that she's gotten away, and Neil is kind of like, see, I told you she wasn't involved. And then she shows up, and she shoots him because she's evil. To get away, she also drops one of the magic beans, because they've stolen those beans from Regina, who, of course, stole them from, you know, Mary Margaret and David and everyone. She throws the bean on the ground, opens the portal, and Neil and Emma are kind of stuck trying to escape. He ends up kind of getting sucked down into the portal, and Emma's, you know, trying to like hold on to him. And there was this really kind of heartbreaking moment, you know, where she finally tells him, like, you can't leave me, I need you, Henry needs you, I love you. And you guys know I wasn't feeling that, but anyway, but I was feeling the, you know, I was feeling it because it was sad, but I'm not feeling it. And he tells her he loves her, and then, I don't know, it's almost like this recurring thing in his life where he gets sucked into portals, because he gets sucked down into this portal, and he closes the portal, so it was kind of sad. Speaking of portals and Neil, Bay. We see a flashback to kind of where he ended up when he went through the portal that separated him and his father. And we see the story of him meeting Wendy from Peter Pan, right? And Neverland, and this kind of shadow person that comes to take the kids to Neverland. And I know so many people have this theory that they think that Bay is Peter Pan. And I really feel like this week's episode, I mean, like, the flashback didn't end. Like, the way it ended, you knew that there was going to be more of it. I feel like the flashback only adds to that whole theory that Bay is Peter Pan. Basically, he lets the shadow person take him off to Neverland. You know, he kind of trades himself for these kids that he's met who have really kind of been kind to him. And at the last minute, he's able to escape, and he ends up on Captain Hook's boat. So, should be interesting. And then that also explains how it was that Neil knew how to drive Captain Hook's boat. So, there you go. Next week is the season finale, right? And it seems like it's going to be a good one. The kind of kicker at the end of this episode is that Greg and Tamara are still together, and they've managed to steal this kind of gem-looking thing from Regina. And for a while, you're kind of like, what the heck is that? But then at the end of the episode, we see Regina tell Mary Margaret and David that they've basically stolen the trigger that's going to destroy Storybrooke. So her whole failsafe that she built into the town to destroy it, she had the trigger with her, obviously, because we saw her go get that last week. They stole it, they have it, and they realize what it is. And so, obviously, since they want to destroy magic, destroying Storybrooke would be a good start, so that's not going to be so great. So I really do have a feeling that next week we are headed someplace new, and I'm kind of excited about that, but then also kind of bummed because, like I said, next week is the season finale. So, hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you want to check out last week's review, you can click on the video link here. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye!